that is an experience of God manifesting Himself to you.
Some of you might not know, this is actually like the most Catholic country in the world. There's 100 million people here, and most of them, I think, are Roman Catholic. I've been here for one day, and I thought I should probably give my first impressions of Manila while I'm here. I'm somewhere called Ayala, which, I mean, it seems like a pretty well-to-do area, and I'll tell you what, it's not indicative of what Manila actually is like. Let me show you. Number one thing you'll notice about Manila when you get here is things aren't exactly pretty all the time. It's not like where I am right now. The roads are full of potholes. There's heaps of traffic as well. Travel infrastructure is not the best here. So it was raining last night, and I actually wanted to go out and party a little bit, but it started raining. Now when it rains in Manila, good luck getting a taxi. You're not gonna get anywhere. No one's gonna come pick you up. It took me an hour to get a ride using Grab, which is like the Uber equivalent of Southeast Asia. I've been told that there's a railway station or something, or like there's a train system here, but nobody seems to use it. Nobody wants to. And if you're looking to travel on a budget, that's probably not going to happen either. So you might be thinking, Rahil, why did you come to such an expensive, fancy place? Don't you normally go to the dingy parts of the world? I'll be honest, this is my second point about Manila, or second part of the first impressions of Philippines. The food here is not the best. I'm not sure what's going on, but basically there seems to be a lot of junk food here, a lot of fast food, a lot of fried chicken and rice. It seems to be the big thing here, fried chicken and rice. And I love fried chicken, but I can't have it every day. There's a lot of fried food. I even went out last night and I spent 900 pesos on dinner, which was about... Thank you.
Anything else?
Coca-Cola.
Coke regular.
Coca-Cola.
Coke regular, Coke
Yeah.
Zero, and Coke
sorry,
Light.
Coke Zero. So 900 Philippine pesos comes to 16 US dollars, which is actually very expensive by Filipino standards. Now, why I paid that price? I just needed a good meal, man. Like, I ended up getting like some pasta, some fancy pasta or whatever. It was at a place called the Filling Station. On top of that, I paid premium price for a meal which didn't taste all that good. Whatever. I almost forgot to say, like, the reason I paid so much was when it did start raining and I couldn't get a Grab. What had happened was it rained so heavily, the street I'm on actually flooded. Like, it actually flooded. So there was no way of me getting out of the hotel. I was just stuck there. There was no way of me getting like a motorcycle to come in and bring me food, and I was starving at that point. So luckily my brother had made some cookies, and I had those in my bag. Luckily, so that sort of tied me over for the early part of the evening. So when I finally managed to get out of the hotel, I just couldn't care less. I just had to eat. So the other thing that I've noticed, that you will notice, is the Philippines is so religious. Like, signs about God and Jesus everywhere here. You'll see people wearing cross necklaces as well. It's part of the culture, the religion.
So our first visit is Manila Cathedral, the second oldest church, built in 1581. Yeah.
1581.
Yeah.
So I'm with Elmar, and Elmar introduced himself to me as I got out of the taxi.
This church here, first structure, it is made by nipa and bamboo. So it was 7 times destroyed by earthquake. So this is the last.
7 times?
Yeah, the last structure here. This one. No problem. I have an umbrella, sir.
It's okay. I saw.
I'm always prepared to my customer.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So,
so this one here, you see the white building. So
yeah.
this is the first Manila City Hall, Manila Council during
Manila Council. Okay.
Yeah, during Spanish times.
Spanish times. I've lost my ride. I don't know where he is. Alright.
Let's go to the wall.
Alright, let's go.
Yeah.
So he's just told me something very interesting. In this area, if you buy land and you want to redevelop the property and build a new property, it has to be in a Spanish style. So most countries want to forget about their colonial past, but I feel like Philippines is kind of embracing the colonial past, and that sort of makes up their culture today, their Spanish past and the American past. You can probably hear it in the accents. A lot of them have pseudo-American accents. So it is something like they try and hold on to, and dare I say it, something kind of nostalgic for a lot of Filipinos. Now that being said, throughout Philippines history there have been many resistances. It got so bad that on the island of Samar, when the Americans were in control, the insurrections and the rebellions got so bad that the Americans actually went in, and they went in to kill, and they went in with one main target, and they targeted every single man or boy that was above the age of 10 years old, essentially emasculating the whole island of Samar. The general's name, yes?
Galeria de los Presidentes de la República Philippines.
Okay.
The picture of the 16th president of the Philippines.
Is Marcos there?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Where's Lenny? Where's Lenny?
The side of the woman with eyeglasses.
Where's Lenny?
Lenny?
Yeah, where's Lenny? Lenny Robredo.
Ano?
Oh, no, Lenny Robredo.
He was a vice president.
Oh.
He's not our president. But my idol, but lost.
Yo, you like Lenny?
Yeah.
Me too. I like Lenny too.
I like Lenny, but our choice is lost to Marcos.
Hello, how are you? Where's Lenny? Lenny's not here. Lenny Robredo. So following World War II is when the Philippines finally got their independence. And they ceased being a Commonwealth. And finally became...
Sir, this one.
I think I've chosen the perfect tour guide. Hello. So the earlier point I was making about the food here, the lack of options, it definitely points towards colonialism. However,
This is Baluarte de San Diego Garden.
very cool. Okay,
Okay.
let's go.
I'll show you the Japanese cannon, sir. Here. All Japanese cannon.
Cannon?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see that.
Cannon. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. How long were the Japanese here? 42 to 46, right?
Yeah.
Or no, when did the war end? 45. 1945 they surrendered, right?
The war was ending. 3 years. 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, they seem to have made their mark here. And I doubt anyone will forget that the Japanese were in the Philippines. The English were actually here for 2 years. The English came, it was, I believe, during the 7 Years' War. Because Spain was allied with France, the British actually sent troops from India who sailed through the China Sea and attacked Manila. They held Manila for 2 years before they gave it up for ransom. And during those 2 years, they looted a lot of treasure from the Philippines, and a few of those things actually ended up going to auction. So this is the biggest newspaper in Manila.
Yes, sir.
Manila Bulletin.
Manila Bulletin, yeah, this one.
Okay. I hear it's dangerous to be a journalist.
I think if you are your destination in like war, like in province, but here in
Manila, it's okay.
Many journalism it was killed also. Here, journalism.
Yeah, it's especially somewhere like Mindanao.
Yeah.
Mindanao is not the safest place to be a journalist.
Yes, sir.
A lot of journalists actually are strapped for their own protection. Yeah. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of journalists in Australia. I feel like they're overpaid. A lot of them can't even spell, which begs the question, why do you need a degree to become a journalist? But when you come to countries like the Philippines, you see journalists actually doing great work and covering real issues.
Be careful, sir. Snoring.
All right, let's check it out. What is happening? That's crazy. Whoa! Hey? What's happening, guys? What is this?
This is Canyon.
Canyon.
Intramuros. This is North side. North side.
Yeah, this is really cool, man.
Shout out.
Eh?
Shout out, Kit. Shout out. Shout out ko nga pala yung mga kaibigan ko. Shout out ko nga pala yung mga kalugar ko. What's up? Shout out Malabo.
Now, what we just saw, it's actually like probably my favorite part of the Philippines. But more on that later.
Welcome to the Philippines.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Salamat, salamat.
Okay, salamat.
Ako si Rahil. Rahil.
Oh, Mateo.
Nice to meet you. Alright guys, you have a nice day, okay? See you.
The vlogger?
Yeah.
Filipino?
No, me. Am I Filipino?
No, Filipino.
You're Filipino?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Nice to meet you, man.
Tour guide in Intramuros.
Huh?
Tour guide. The tour guide in Intramuros.
Yeah, that's my tour guide.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. See ya.
Sorry, dude.
Who's gonna be my tour guide? A constant reminder of colonial rule in the Philippines. This man, King Philip II of Spain, where the Philippines gets its name from. You good, man? You alright?
Yeah, okay, sir. No problem.
You wanna take a break?
No. It's okay.
Alright, man. Let's go.
No tip, sir. Tip?
Oh, I thought that was the tip. Okay.
Okay, sir.
There you go, man.
Thank you, sir. Ryan.
No worries, no worries.
very
Thank you.
much. God bless you.
I'm out of money. So it cost 75 pesos, which is like 2 USD. I only got 50, and I just gave this girl here my last few coins. I didn't realize it was 75 pesos to get in. Another thing that's sort of another first impression of Manila. If you don't have an American accent and you're speaking English, you might get a blank reaction, right? And it's not that there's a language barrier. Everyone in Philippines speaks English. It's an accent barrier. Like, I'll speak in an Aussie accent, right? And they'll have no idea what I'm saying. So last night I said, can I go to the liquor store? And the guy's like, what? And I said, sir, can I go to the liquor store? He said, oh, liquor store, okay. So it's an accent barrier, okay, just so you guys know. Fanta. 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 Yeah. So here's an issue I'm finding happens a lot here is the ATMs. So this is the second one I've tried today. It doesn't have any cash. And this is supposed to be like a pretty happening tourist spot. I don't know, man. This happened to me yesterday as well, where I had to try about 3 ATMs to try and get some cash out. Did it work? What the hell? This is like a big tourist area.
Yeah.
And they don't have an ATM. That one's not working. Yeah, all good, man. All right, so not working. Let's figure it out. Success. Hey, what do you think I should try? What do you think I should try?
I think you should try Portugal or Portugal.
Okay, I'll try the Portugal. Is that your favorite?
Kinda.
Okay, alright, I'll try that. Because I'm so over the chain restaurants, I figured I'd come to like the most local looking joint I could find in this area, which is actually more difficult than it sounds. But I think I've hit the jackpot. And the menu looks pretty decent, looks pretty Filipino. So you might be thinking, Rahil, why did you come here? Basically because from these 2 days experience, I've figured out that when it rains, it pours in Manila, especially during the wet season. So rather than get caught in the final destination in the rain, I thought I'll come and hide out in this restaurant for now. So those 2 tomatoes might be the first 2 vegetables I've seen in the Philippines. So I'm making a video. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
calamansi here. So
Okay.
you will just squeeze then and mix it with the soy sauce, and then you'll dip the pork chop.
Oh, okay, so that's how you eat it. Alright. Okay, look. It's not gonna win any awards, but it's okay. Yeah, you too, man. Take care. So this is the gate to what I'm going to show you next. Wasn't this supposed to be your first impressions of Manila? Why are you bringing us to Fort Santiago? So, my first impressions so far of Manila is, or of Philippines in general actually, is this is a country that has been ravaged by colonialism. And you see it from, you know, everything from the food, the infrastructure, and sadly even education. And how I know this is I actually have a company and I deal with a lot of Filipinos who are employed by my company. And you know, when I do the job interviews and everything, it really makes me sad because, I mean, they of course I knew about this before I came here, but to see it up close and in person, it is quite sad. Now, as I said, this place is a bit odd because it's like they're trying to preserve. It's like they're trying to preserve the colonial history, whereas a lot of countries would rather erase it, or not erase it, but move past it. Another telltale sign of the colonial past. It's a lot of people might not know this, but the Philippines actually used to be part of the wider sphere of Indochina. I don't know what you might call it, but the Hindu sphere, much like Malaya or Indonesia. So you had, you know, Rajas and that sort of thing back then, and around the 1100s Islam came to the Philippines. It wasn't until about, I believe, the 1600s or maybe even the 1500s that Catholicism became widely practiced, and that was brought over by the Spanish. And that was the main tool that they had used for their colonialism. It was religion. And as I said before, Christianity or Catholicism is embedded, deeply embedded into the Filipino culture. Let's check this out. Despite all of these hurdles the Filipino people have to face, it's so beautiful that they're able to overcome this and keep pushing through, you know? I don't know if I meant to go there, but the gate's open, so... Jesus. Flooded. Guess we're not going to go through. So this is where Spanish soldiers would have had to march up and come out. So why have I actually braved the rain and waited for the rain to go into the nighttime just to tell you all these stories about the Philippines? And how is that relevant to my first impressions of Manila? Was so very relevant. As I just mentioned, the Filipino people have to overcome so many hurdles and have had so much of their culture wiped, islands emasculated, and all these trials and tribulations, constant invasion after invasion and dominion. I mean, if you'd gone through centuries of this, how would you have any sort of, what would your sense of identity be as a people? I have a company, 2 companies now, and I work closely with Filipinos. And I have to say, despite all of the hurdles they have to overcome, some of the hardest working people I've ever encountered. And it might be because of circumstance. From what I can see, it doesn't, you know, there aren't too many job prospects in this country. The same way we have in the West, where there's a certain safety net. I mean, you don't work, you can probably qualify for a pension, which is probably actually more than what some professionals here get. It's almost unjust, it's criminal. So I've been here for, well, now 2 days. I've gone through a complete roller coaster ride of emotions, of frustration, sadness, deep empathy, joy, excitement at a new adventure. First impressions here, despite not having the best food or hot water, or it's not cold water, but it's not hot in the hotel, a mini flood on my street, I'm happy to be here. It's great, and people are really friendly here, and that's what makes the journey, any journey. It's the people. It's not the food, it's part of it, but it's not the food that makes the journey. It's not the accommodation, it's not how lavish everything is. It's really who you're talking to. Don't tell me what you ate, tell me who you ate with. Anyway guys, hope that was alright, and I hope I didn't offend anyone. I'm going to do some more exploring now. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching.